into kind of a ball. That's, you know, just that way it'll end up being more round when you're, you know, when you flatten it out. And go ahead and flatten it out so it's sort of like making a tortilla. And try to get it to be evenly flat, okay? So you don't want it to be really thick in the middle. You want it to be an even thickness throughout the whole thing. You can use something that's sort of like a pinching technique, and then you can also use that technique that we did before where you slap it down on the table at an angle, okay? I'm not putting it straight down. I'm bringing it in from an angle onto the table and trying to get it to land sort of flat and smear itself across the surface. And you can see how it stretches when I do that. So I'm going to throw it sort of like this down to the table so it lands flat against it, and you can see how it stretches it out in that direction, right? So I can do that again, and it gets longer in that direction, right? I can flip it around so it's like 90 degrees different, and it's going to start getting bigger in this direction. And I'm throwing it down like this, like whoosh, onto the table, like really flat, so when it hits flat onto it, and it wants to kind of smear across. Now it's getting pretty big. It's getting to where it's as big as the paper that I have here, which is probably about as big as I want it. And it's very thin. If you look at the thickness of this, it is like extremely thin, and it's almost an even thickness throughout the whole piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this part. I like the way it sort of goes up like that. It's a little bit more pointy right here. And first thing I'm going to do is make one of these. Okay, something that's a bit like that. And it's going to be about this tall. So I have a little bit of scrap, and I'm going to stick this back in the bag, like right away, because I don't want that to dry out. First thing I'm going to do is just very lightly put my design in there. Make sure that my light's going to fit in there, and it does. I'm going to put a little bit of slip right there. Scratch first. Slip, and then this goes together. Now remember, the slip is like glue, so that's what, you know, basically holds things together, is the slip. And we're going to make a bottom for it. So the bottom can fit onto the edge of this. Probably at least half of the clay that you had should still be left. In this case, I've got about 2/3 of it left, all right? And part of that, I'm gonna make the base. Figure out about where it's gonna be. I haven't attached anything yet. I'm just gonna go around with my tool and just mark an edge so I know where it's gonna be. Now I can score and slip. Don't forget to score and slip when we're working with clay. Cut the bottom. because now I know that it's the exact size that it is. So I can come along with my nice sharp little tool and just cut right around the very edge of the outside of it. All the way around. You're going to have to look straight down on it because, you know, you can't see around it. So you're going to have to, like, you know, get up there and look straight down on it. All the way around. So I'm trying to get a 90-degree angle here. Alright, so that's 90. There's my square, right there. This we're going to make into a cone. Alright, so we want to see if we can make the same radius from that. So what I see is that it ends about here, and see how I'm holding this? Watch. Compass. I put that there, and it just helps me so that I can have something that's going to be a little bit closer to a perfect, like, you know, quarter of a circle. And I think I'm off a little bit with my cut, but that's pretty close. I can now set this over here with this, and we have a cone shape out of that. Bag very carefully now, very carefully now, and I can put this one in there too, and I can do this and seal it. Now you'll notice all the air that's in there, right? All that air is dry.